championship game next week. Overcast and windy, and a storm front right on the outskirts. Although we have not had any rain as of yet, the field a bit soggy. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton along with Matt Millen. And Matt, the 49ers, the best record in the NFL this year, have not played in 2 weeks. In their last regular season game, the starters were pulled early. Would that affect their timing at all in this first playoff game for them?
Yeah, I think it always affects your time, and I think they have to be concerned because they haven't played so long, especially given the fact that the 49ers are a team that operates on precision timing. Timing in the passing game, everybody getting off quick, ball coming out quick. They got to be concerned early.
Everybody knows that the Chicago Bears are huge underdogs in this game, but in talking with Coach Dave Wannstedt and his team, they appear confident and they have a plan for this game.
Yeah, and boy, do I love the plan. You know what he said? We're going to shake our fist in the big boy's face and bloody their nose. You know what that means? They're going to come out and they're going to attack in that running game. They're going to keep on pounding inside. They're going to not do anything out of the ordinary. They think they can be physical with his San Francisco 49er defense.
And there is Dave Wannstedt and George Seifert, and right now let's go to the third member of our team down on the field, Tim Green. Tim.
Thanks, Dick. Hey, this field is wet. Now you're going to want to keep your eyes on the middle of it where it's dark green. That's new sod. It's only 3 weeks old, so it probably will get sloppy. Now, to combat that, players have switched from the normally half-inch spikes to the 3/4-inch spikes. Now, whether it rains or not remains to be seen, but those high winds swirling around inside this stadium will definitely have an effect on the long passing game and the kicking game.
All right, Tim, and there you see the cleats that the players are wearing here on this turf. They resodded the middle of it. It was covered all week, but there is still moisture underneath that they attempted to clear off before the game. Kevin Butler will kick off for the Bears. The 49ers have won the toss, and they'll get the ball first. George Seifert, winningest active coach in the National Football League and undefeated in divisional playoffs. Back deep for the 49ers is Dexter Carter, their normal return man, and with him is Derek Lovell, so no Deion Sanders yet. And an end-over-end short kick. And it'll be returned by Dexter Carter, and the Bears taking the cue from Dave Wannstedt with a hard hit at the 25-yard line. That was Ron Cox. A 10-yard return by Dexter Carter. Steve Young getting all the honors he deserves this year. MVP for the second time in his career, and a load of team records. And the 49ers with their offensive line of Wallace, Sapolo, Oates, Deese, and Harris Barton. Look at these weapons. Ricky Waters and William Floyd in the backfield. John Taylor and Jerry Rice, the receivers, and Brent Jones, the tight end. Waters in motion as the Niners start from the 25. And the first pass is caught by John Taylor. And that'll be good enough for a San Francisco first down. Jeremy Lincoln on the tackle. Bears defensively, and they resemble what Dallas has done. Spellman, Zorich, Simpson, and Armstrong, their front four. Speed at linebacker with Joe Kane, Dante Jones, and Vincent Smith, the former Cowboy himself. And the strength of the Bears, the secondary, with Lincoln and Wolford, the cornerbacks, Mark Carrier and Sean Gale, the safeties. It'll be a first down on the 39 of the Niners. Ed McCaffrey is in at wide receiver, and he goes in motion. Steve Young with time, throws underneath, and a fumble. Brent Jones fumbles, and the Bears recover. And that's the turnovers that the Bears were hoping for, and they get one early.
Well, we talked about how they had to set the tone right from the start. Dave Wannstedt was very, very impressed with the fact that he felt his defense could come out and set a tone. Well, if you're going to set a tone in a big game, this is the way to do it. Turnovers. Watch the hit. The ball is going to come right up. Joe Kane, who's been their most active defender all year, comes up with a big play. Once that ball's on the ground, it's just a matter of falling on it.
Alonzo Spellman makes the recovery. There was the hit, and the Bears have the ball on the 49er 36-yard line. Walsh will throw on first down and completes it to Ryan Wetnight, the tight end, and he's close to a first down. So Steve Walsh, who is now 9-3 as a starting quarterback for the Bears, was not their starter when the year began. The offensive line, Todd Perry again at left guard. Mark Bortz was inactive with Heck, Fontenot, Leuenberg, and Big Cat James Williams. Lewis Tillman and Raymond Harris in the backfield. Curtis Conway and Jeff Graham are the receivers, and Marv Cook the tight end. And those names don't jump out at you like a lot of the 49ers offensive players do. They're going to measure here.
And they don't have all the great names, but I got to be honest with you. Of all the teams I've watched this year, the Chicago Football Bears play the best team defense and offense that I've watched. And I think that's Dave Wannstedt's coaching.
Short of the first down by about a foot.
Well, I'm really impressed with Dave Wannstedt. I think the greatest asset he has is he's very realistic. I mean, he'll sell it to the team in a manner in which it's believable, and then you just go out and get the job done.
Wannstedt was 7-9 in his first year, 9-7 this year, but the big victory on the road against the Vikings last week, the only road team to win in the first round of the playoffs. Second down and 1 coming up on the 27. Brent Jones, who coughed the ball up. Raymond Harris, the lone running back, dives forward for the first down.
Stop!
Defensively for the 49ers, and they have improved as the season's gone on. Ricky Jackson, Dana Stubblefield, Brian Young, and Dennis Brown. Stubblefield and Young very effective inside. Ken Norton, Gary Plummer, and Lee Woodall, the linebackers. And the secondary sparked by Deion Sanders. He has set a tone for the Niners with Merton Hanks, Tim McDonald, and Eric Davis. 1st and 10 on the 23. And there's Deion Sanders, who's out there watching Graham. Tony Carter and Lewis Tillman are the running backs, and it's Tillman who is tackled quickly by Gary Plummer and a gain of 1.
Well, a lot of things have gone on with this Chicago Bear offense, but the biggest change is at quarterback. And Steve Walsh has been the guy. And the funny thing is he's been under pressure the last month or so, whether he's going to stay in the game. And I remember last week talking with him, he said, "What, pressure, yeah, they could pull me and put Kramer in. But look, nobody puts more pressure on me than myself. And I have high expectations, and I put more pressure than anyone."
Tom Waddle goes in as a third wide receiver. 2nd down and 9. And the pass out on the flat to Raymond Harris, and another good tackle, this time by Ken Norton Jr., and he limits the play to 1 yard. It'll be 3rd and long.
So what's the plan to attack the 49er defense? If you're the Chicago Bears, you got to attack the backers. You got to work on those 2 inside guys in the passing game, particularly Norton running outside, and then in the running game, you attack right inside. Make them come up and be aggressive. These are 2 inside guys who have not been very aggressive.
And on 3rd down, Richard Dent, who had 2 sacks in the first 2 games and then had ligament surgery on his knee, is in the game now on 3rd down and 8. On the 21-yard line of the 49ers. Fumble. And it's recovered by the Bears, apparently. Although many of the players are not convinced that play is over.
Including the officials. And there's a good old wrestling match going on down there.
Richard Dent is claiming that the Niners recovered, but the initial signal, Bears recover, and it's 4th down.
Just comes up out of the snap, and he just never gets his hands on it. He probably pulled out a little fast. And watch the wrestling match going on at the bottom. That's Dent on top of Walsh.
So Kevin Butler will try a 39-yard field goal. Chris Gardocki is the holder. Try to give the Bears an early lead. And Butler's kick is good, and the Chicago Bears have moved on top, taking advantage of the turnover, and the Bears on Butler's 39-yard field goal lead the 49ers 3-0.
This Fox NFL special, the NFC Divisional Playoff, is brought to you by Honda, who invite you to test drive the new Odyssey, the Honda of minivans. By the American Express card, don't leave home without it. By Merrill Lynch, for our clients, the difference is planning, the difference is Merrill Lynch. And by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, pick Enterprise, we'll pick you up.
Chicago Bears have scored on their first drive for the first time since week 1 of this season. A field goal by Kevin Butler, and he's kicking off. And this time it's a low kick. And it's fielded by Adam Walker. And Walker is corralled at the 32-yard line by John Theory, their #1 draft pick. This is truly a David and Goliath battle. Look right down the line, including point differential, Matt.
Yeah, this is the big one right here. You know what that means? That means that your defense has given up more points than you've scored. 36 more points as opposed to 208. You can see the scoring machine of the San Francisco 49ers. And even with that, it's amazing that they won their 9 games.
9 Pro Bowl players for San Francisco, none for Chicago. Dexter Carter in the lineup, first down on the 32. Passing offense for the Niners. Young steps up, pumps once, takes off. And he's tackled after a gain of about 6 or 7. Chris Zorich making the tackle, and that's one of the things the Bears have to look out for today, Young's ability to run.
Well, they want to try to keep him inside. They don't want him to get outside. If he's going to run, that's fine. And if he does run, then we want to pound him. That's what Dave Wannstedt told us last night. If the guy's going to turn into a running back, we'll treat him like one.
And the way the Bears are hitting, that won't be good for Steve Young. 2nd and 3. There's a handoff to Ricky Waters in his first carry of the game. And Waters will have a first down. Dante Jones making the stop and a pickup of 5.
That's the typical 49er running game. They try to get to the edges, get to the outside. You can see they're just going to pull us outside, and they're going to just get right up on top. Sapolo coming around. He'll get a block right there. Turn it back inside, and then get Dante Jones to scrape down the line, but not after he gets the first down.
Told you it's been a dry day so far, but now it is starting to rain somewhat. Tony Wise, the offensive line coach of the Bears.
Just spreading the field right now. The 49ers, they're lining up everybody wide, and then they're starting to attack underneath and inside. And what they'll try to do is soften everything up so that the running game can get going later on, and then also they can start working the edges with Jerry Rice and John Taylor.
Steve Young with an impressive ratio, 26 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. 2nd down and 5. Young's pass incomplete. It was intended for John Taylor. Taylor has not gotten much attention in recent weeks. He has been injured with an ankle, and I know that he told you that he was looking for more activity, get the ball a lot more today.
Yeah, there's a guy, John Taylor, that can be a huge part of the San Francisco offense, but he's been all banged up. And they'll go to him, and they have the confidence to go to him. But like Steve Young said to me yesterday, hey, just get open, I'll find, and the ball will find you.
Barry Minder was so effective as a linebacker on pass defense against the Vikings, has come in for the Bears. 3rd down and 5. Young throws up the middle, and it's caught by Brent Jones. And that should be enough for another San Francisco first down in Bears territory inside the 45. And Minder making the tackle after a gain of 7.
Well, when you play this San Francisco team, the one thing you always have to be aware of is that they're going to get first downs, and they're going to score, and they're going to make a lot of catches, but you just have to be patient. And this is a good job of defense right here. They got the first down, but they're making them work it down the field. Just methodically go down. Generally what happens is an offense will break up and a turnover will happen.
So many weapons does this Niner team have. 1st and 10 on the 44. 3-0 Chicago. Young is going to try to take off again, and Vincent Smith will bring him down short of a first down by about 3 yards.
There's good coverage downfield, and then Lonzo Spellman, nice pressure. And watch him right here. He's going to come right up inside and get some good pressure in that pocket. Young will look downfield to see he's going to just get under Steve Wallace and just power him. And now Young feels him, and he just takes off and uses legs. Watch the end of Vincent Smith. That's some good running because Steve Young can fly.
There's the Bears defense. Not fancy. They don't change much. Stay in the base most of the time. It'll be 2nd down and 3 on the 37. Here's Ricky Waters looking for running room, and he's tripped up, still short of the first down by about a yard. And Joe Kane. Joe Kane has done a terrific job since coming over from Seattle.
Yeah, he's a good guy, good attacking guy. That's the one thing I like about Joe Kane. I mean, he'll see something and he'll just come flying up there. And I think, to be honest with you, I think he's a better inside linebacker than he is outside. Well, that William Floyd, he came flying up there too, hit Dante Jones. That's going to be some nice confrontations in there.
3rd and 1 and 4 wide receivers for the 49ers. Jerry Rice is in the slot to the left. Quarterback sneak, and Steve Young picks up another first down with 6:40 remaining in the first quarter. 3-0 in favor of the Bears.
The part of the plan for this Bear team was to limit the 49er offense to field goals if they could. And they realized that they had to be patient, like I mentioned earlier, that they are going to drive the field. Don't panic. Still play your game. Let them keep working it down. And then when you get into the red zone, if you can hold them to field goals, you won the battle.
Dave Wannstedt said, I want to see Young and Rice on the sidelines with Seifert when they go for the field goal. 1st and 10. Here is Ricky Waters with blocking in front. And Waters picks up a first down again.
What a great job by Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice lined up outside, come back into crackback, and made that whole thing happen. Watch Rice work back down inside, and then his job is first guy to show. You see, that's Vincent Smith, the outside backer. You're taking maybe the greatest receiver in the game, catching the ball and running, and you're asking him to block 240-pound linebackers.
And one thing the Niner receivers do is block, and that includes Jerry Rice.
He takes great pride in everything he does, and that's why he's the consummate pro.
Jeremy Lincoln is defending Rice to the left. First down on the 21-yard line. Here is Waters.
And Jerry Rice again. Unbelievable. Has to the one side, comes back to the other side, goes right back inside and goes and take the DB out. Just gives enough of a bump to allow Waters to get the corner. Look, he's got Sean Gale. He's just going to take that outside leg, and that allows Waters to get to the corner. Ricky Waters is a runner who loves to get to the outside because of his speed.
And the Niners have been able to run outside thanks to Waters, who has 27 yards on 4 carries. He goes out of the game for a spell and is replaced by Dexter Carter. William Floyd is the one running back now, and Floyd gets the call. Rookie from Florida State, William Floyd, with another first down. Joe Kane again on the tackle, but the Niners are rolling, and they have a 1st and goal.
Remember, I just talked about how they're going to start outside, work the edges, and then what they're going to do is come back inside. Now you're starting to see it. And the inside game is William Floyd. And I think a big dimension was added to this running game with William Floyd. He's a big, strong, powerful guy, good blocker, and he has nice feet inside.
1st and goal on the 7. Here's Waters to the 2-yard line, and it appears as if the 49ers got a wake-up call with that turnover and field goal by Kevin Butler. 5-yard gain with Dante Jones bringing Waters down.
Now watch William Floyd. We talked about him being a lead blocker. Big, strong man. Watch him right here. He's going to get right in on Dante Jones. And what he's going to do is just going to stop his feet and then, boom, get it right there. Now he can cut it right back inside. The key there is everybody is on a defender. And then you just let Ricky Waters pick his spot.
2 tight ends. Ted Popson in the game. 2nd and goal from the 2. Touchdown, William Floyd. That didn't take the 49ers long to get back on top.
But you know what the most impressive thing about it is they asked the guys like Jerry Rice to do the blocking. And then they asked the guy who's a big fullback, running back, to carry the ball for the power game.
Six to 3 in favor of the 49ers, and rookie Doug Bryan in to try the extra point. Klaus Wilmsmeyer, the punter, will hold. How would you like to have 60 point-after touchdowns? That's what Bryan has with all the touchdowns this year for the Niners. And the kick is good. 49ers with an impressive drive capped by William Floyd's 2-yard run, and the 49ers lead the Bears now 7-3. Rookie William Floyd with the touchdown to cap a 68-yard drive by the 49ers. Bryan kicking off. Nate Lewis deep will let the ball go into the end zone for a touchback. And the Bears will start from the 20. 49ers had 56 rushing yards in that drive, 32 of them by Ricky Waters.
Zorich goes down inside. He'll counter. The backer will bite. Wallace will seal this off. Spellman goes around the block, and that puts Jeremy Lincoln right on an island. 245 pounds coming right at you. Guess who wins?
Bears have 3 wide receivers, including Tom Waddle. Keith Jennings, the tight end, on first down from the 20. Jeff Graham in motion. And here is Raymond Harris, who scored a 29-yard touchdown run against the Vikings. Doesn't get much here. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Dick, it was a very efficient day for Steelers quarterback Neil O'Donnell. The first of his 2 touchdown passes here to Eric Green as Pittsburgh wins comfortably and moves within 1 game of the Super Bowl. Back to San Francisco, Dick and Matt.
49ers leading 7-3. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for Chicago. Tony Carter joins Louis Tillman in the backfield. Bears under 2 yards per rush thus far. Walsh looking to throw. He goes up top for Conway, and the pass is intercepted. And it's picked off by Eric Davis.
Walsh just hung that ball up there. He had to throw that thing a little bit more on the line. Eric Davis is holding the inside. He's going to give him the outside. Now just run to his inside shoulder. Ball's in the air. Not enough air under it. Davis makes the pick. That's good position by the corner right there. Eric Davis played that thing perfectly. You take away one side and make him play to the outside.
Davis had 1 interception in the regular season. He picks one off here close to midfield.
Anthony Carter was a 3-time All-American at the University of Michigan. This season, he helped the Lions earn a playoff berth.
Great fire, touchdown,
Anthony Carter, Detroit's hometown hero.
This Fox NFL special, the NFC Divisional Playoff, is brought to you by IBM.
Steve Walsh has thrown an interception, and now the 49ers will have the ball on their own 46-yard line, leading 7-3. Stung by a Butler field goal, the Niners have been aggressive on both sides of the ball. 1st and 10 on the 46. And here is a reverse to John Taylor, and he's got a lot of running room. Taylor gets the first down to the 40-yard line, and Sean Gale ultimately makes the play after a gain of 15.
Well, if there was any question how John Taylor can run with that knee anymore, I think that was erased. What they're going to do, they're going to go with the reverse. They got all the flow coming one way, and then they turn everything back. Nice block by Steve Young on Trace Armstrong. And then it's just in the open field. I tell you, they got all their all-pros blocking him. Look at Young. He's a wild man. Goes right in there on Trace Armstrong, and that's the key to that play.
And they were all going after Ricky Waters. So a good call. 1st and 10 on the 39 of the Bears. Young pumps once, fires, and it's caught by Taylor inside the 25. They're making John Taylor feel pretty good in this first quarter. Donnell Wilford on the stop. And Steve Wallace lost his shell, didn't he?
He lost his head again. Hey, Bronco Hinnick, the equipment guy, goes out there. Look, they're giving it to linemen now. Now he's putting it on backwards, I think. No.
What did Seifert say? That thing weighs a ton on his head. I don't know how he can wear that.
Look at that thing. It's the great kazoo.
15-yard gain, 1st down on the Chicago 24.
Must have been a good head slap that took that thing off.
Total yards right now, no contest. Inside handoff to Floyd. And Zorich Gets to him first.
Did you see Steve Wallace? Steve Wallace just took his great kazoo helmet and buried somebody on that side. I think it was Joe Kane. Heck, watch him pull around, and he got all 290 pounds coming around, and there's going to be a nice burial right over here. They should have a rights, read the last rights. Watch this, boom. And he just, that's a thing of beauty if you're an offensive lineman.
Second down and 8. There's Wallace with the shell. Young's pass underneath, and it's Jerry Rice with his first catch. Bears claiming he had possession and lost it, but the play was blown dead. A 6-yard pickup, and Zorish slowly getting up. Dante Jones made the hit on Rice.
But right now, what the 49ers have done very, very well is pass block. There's no pressure going on for Steve Young. And he can just take his time. He's looking downfield, and then he can go to his underneath stuff. And if this team, the ball, remember, the ground can't cause the fumble. But if this team has time, they're going to pick them apart. They'll abuse it. Boy, that could have been a fumble right there.
And that'll do it. That is the end of the first quarter. And the Candlestick crowd loves what they've seen so far. The score, the 49ers 7, the Bears 3. The Jets' Dennis Byrd was one of pro football's rising stars until an accident on the field left him paralyzed. They said he'd never walk again. But in the toughest game on earth, only the strong survive. Don't miss Rise and Walk, the Dennis Byrd story, on Fox's Tuesday night movie at 8, 7 Central. First quarter statistics with the Niners leading 7-3.
Holy smokes.
Big edge for the 49ers from time of possession all the way down the line. But the turnover by the Niners allowed the Bears to get their points. 3rd down and 2 on the 16. And a flag down and an extra push. Albert Fontenot, who has replaced Carl Simpson at defensive tackle, pushed Young, and the crowd not appreciative of that. And the first penalty of the game. Howard Rowe is our referee.
Encroachment, number 96 defense. Contact prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Bears with the least penalized team in the NFL this year. Only 6 penalties last week in their victory over the Vikings, but they're called for the first one here. And it'll be 1st and 10 on the 11. That's Brent Jones in motion, and a fake pitch to Floyd, and the throw, and a short gain to Brent Jones. A pickup of 3 yards. Mark Carrier, the free safety, in there.
They're going to go with that short rollout, almost a dash, and they're going to go with the waggle, taking him right back outside. But Steve Young is in total control. He knows where he wants to go. He knows what he's looking for. And I think the thing that's important with Young is watch his eyes. He knows right where he wants to go with this ball right away. When you get a quarterback in control in this offense, you got problems.
Young is 7 for 8 for 56 yards. 2nd down and 7. Young's pass caught. Touchdown, Brent Jones. And right now, Matt, it looks like the worst thing the Bears ever did was get ahead on the field goal, because the 49ers have played like an angry team since.
Yeah, they stepped on their foot. Shouldn't have done it. Should have brought him flowers instead. Watch Jones come back in motion inside. And then all this is Steve Young. This is Steve Young finding it quick. Now you're playing a zone down there, and the zones end up being pretty tight, so the ball's got to come quick. That's just credit of Steve Young, just seeing it, and boom, ball comes out.
Brent Jones had a career-high 9 touchdown catches in the regular season. Doug Bryan in for the extra point. And the kick is no good. It is off to the right. It hits the upright. So the Niners mix the conversion, and that is only the 3rd miss on the year for Doug Bryan. 13-3 the score.
This Fox NFL special, the NFC Divisional Playoff, is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, the way to save on collect calls. By Chevrolet, the cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. And by Miller Lite, you can expect great things from the great taste that's never watered down.
Dick Stockton and Matt Millen here at Candlestick Park, and the missed extra point by Doug Bryan.
Yeah, you can see what he does. He kicks the ground right here. See that? He kicked more to the ground than he did at a ball, and that pulled it over to the left, and that's a miss.
Remember, Dave Wannstedt was hoping that Bryan would be in critical situations to kick today, but the Niners still lead 13-3, and Bryan kicking off. Nate Lewis in the end zone will down it for the touchback. And the Bears again will start from the 20-yard line. That was a fine kickoff by Bryan. Steve Walsh, and talking to Dave Wannstedt last night, Matt, he said, as I have had for the last 5 weeks, I would not hesitate to go to Eric Kramer if we needed to go that way.
Yeah, and then that time is not now. Right now, Steve Walsh just needs to get some rhythm in that offense. They need to get some confidence, and being down by 10 points, it kind of takes them out of what they wanted to do. They can't really bloody the nose like they wanted to.
First down on the 20. Raymond Harris is the lone running back. Harris, not much. Bears will have a long haul if they don't establish any kind of attack on the ground. Brian Young that time.
Well, talking to the defensive coordinator, Ray Rhodes, the 49ers, he knows they want to run. So I want you to look how tight these backers are right here. They're not going to let them get any steam going. See, Ken Norton just sidesteps and takes up inside. They need the inside four, Bryant Young, Dana Stubblefield, Plummer, and Norton, to be physical, and they need them to step up tight.
Young, #1 pick this year from Notre Dame. Stubblefield, #1 last year out of Kansas. They're tough. 2nd and 9. Walsh on the screen pass to Harris, and Raymond Harris will pick up the Bears' first down. Ken Norton downfield on the play, and a gain of 10.
Well, you talk about William Floyd on one side, Raymond Harris is another, and two really good young fullbacks. Raymond Harris is kind of more of a halfback more than a fullback. He's got the speed. He still has to learn how to block. That's a part of the game that has to get better. But a tough guy, has great hands out of the backfield, and a good cutback runner.
He called the ultra back, and that goes back to his days at Ohio State, where he does everything from different positions. Block, catch, and run. First down on the 32. Wet Knight lining up in the backfield, and here's Harris, and he runs right into Ken Norton, and a pickup of 4 yards.
Now to go back to what they wanted to do, attacking the inside. They want to get Raymond Harris on those backers. The Bears like their chances. Watch Gary Plummer, #50. In that position in this defense, you have to be very aggressive. You make all the adjustments, you move people back, and then as soon as you see it, you got to go hit it. The worst thing you could do in this defense is go sideways.
Second and 6, Walsh's pass. He was going for Jennings, who did not turn around, and he was defended by Lee Woodall.
Now you wonder where Jeff Graham has been all day. Well, he's been covered by Deion Sanders. Speaking to Walsh last night, he said, look, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to throw the ball on that side. The guy makes too many plays.
They want no part of Deion Sanders. Could be a lonely day for prime time.
I think at least you got to test the guy. You got to see what he's about. At least try to make him be physical with you.
And maybe make him make a tackle, which he doesn't always like to do.
I don't think not always. I don't think he likes to do it all.
3rd down and 6. Robert Green, #22, lines up in the backfield. Walsh dumps it off to Green. Green fights his way and has the first down. Well, they're chipping away, and that's been the Bears' style offensively all year, a 7-yard gain.
That's a great job of the offensive line of the Bears, giving them time. And watch everybody inside from Big Cat. They're going to come with a blitz inside, then they drop off the outside backer, and a lot of time to find people downfield, and then, of course, he hits Green. What they like to do with Robert Green is clear everybody out in front of him and just give him an opportunity and some room to run the ball.
This is a patient Bears offense, and they will run the ball even when the score shows they're down by 10. That's Dave Wannstedt's philosophy, and it's worked for him. First down on the 43, fake end around, and the pass Not sure who that was intended for. Big Cat Williams was the closest man to it. Maybe Lewis Tillman.
And I got the pressure from Woodall, so he decided that the 40-yard line was the most open guy. Hit him perfectly.
Hit him on the numbers, right? First downs on average, 49ers nearly 8.5. Chicago nearly 3.5. Wind continues to whip up, and we have a light drizzle. 2nd and 10 on the 43 of the Bears. Walsh up the middle, tipped and caught by Whitnight. It's taken out of his hands, but that play is blown dead.
And they're calling it incomplete.
That's right. Whitnight did not have control of the ball. Merton Hanks tried to scamper with it, as he's had several times this year.
Well, because Walsh throws a lot of underneath stuff in all the short control passing game, what the 49ers have done is they've tightened up that zone inside. And they play their safeties a little bit tighter. They're coming up tighter with their corners, and then the backers are getting a good drop. It's a tough zone to throw against right now.
49ers have brought in Tim Harris and Richard Dent as pass rushers on defensive end. 3rd down and 10. Walsh steps up, flag down, and the pass is caught by Tony Carter out of the backfield, but there's a flag down. And we'll have a critical holding call against Chicago. 22-yard gain on a pass to Tony Carter will be nullified.
Richard Dent is limping off the field right now.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 64 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Andy Heck.
Andy Heck on the left side. He's going right on here. He's going to be playing tackle on Dent. Just gets the jam. That's pathetic if that's a call. And you see right at the end, you see Dent's knee pop back inside, and then he limped off the field and asked for some help.
Remember, he had surgery for torn knee ligaments. He's the Bears' all-time leading sack leader, and he's replaced by Ricky Jackson. 3rd down and 20 for the Bears. Pass is tipped by Bryant Young, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, he's going to get some pressure off the corner from Tim Harris, and then Bryant Young just gets his hands up there on Big Cat Williams and knocks that thing backwards.
Chris Gardocki will be kicking. First punt of the game for either team. Back deep for the 49ers is Dexter Carter. Carter should get a return, runs up and is hit by Mo Douglas. How many better special teams players are there in the league than Maurice Douglas?
Well, there's something about an all-pro kind of Maurice Douglas and how he shows you how to play special teams. You know what you do there? You pick one guy and beat him. In that instance, he picked Drakeford, and once you beat that guy, you just tear downfield. Mo Douglas is a really good football player.
Good as you'll find in coverages. First down for the 49ers on their 39. William Floyd in motion. On a design rollout, Steve Young goes up top. And the pass intended for John Taylor, who was wide open, and Young missed him.
Boy, they took John Taylor, they drug him all the way across the field. Take him back, and he's going to come all the way down. This will be wide open down here. Young will roll. This will draw the defense this way. Now watch him come back right here. Nobody down there. Young just put a little bit too much mustard on it. Oh, JT, he knew it too.
2nd down and 10. Well, he'll get other opportunities, that's for sure. Hand off to Floyd. Looking for some running room, and he couldn't find much, and is stopped by Trace Armstrong. Right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to JB, James Brown, in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Dick, as we all know, the Steelers got more than enough offense today, including 238 yards on the ground, 26 of them right here by John L. Williams. That en route to a 20-point victory over the Browns and a trip to the AFC title game. Back to Dick and Matt.
They're going to be tough to beat there in Pittsburgh with that running game going.
Hard to beat a team 3 straight times. That's what the Steelers did. Nate Singleton has come in along with Ed McCaffrey. 3rd down and 8 for the 49ers. Could be a big down for the Bears. Open the middle, and the pass is caught. And that is a first down by Ricky Waters, who's become one of the most dangerous running backs as receivers in the league, and a gain of 11.
Well, it all starts up front with that offensive line. You got to give Young some time to find people down below. And a nice job. Watch Harris Barton working on Trace Armstrong. Take him, work him back upfield. They allow Young to step up in the pocket. And if he can do that and look the field over, they'll get first down after first down.
Barry Minner making the tackle. So the Niners are in Bears territory. First down. Converting a big 3rd down play. Young's pass swings it out to Waters. And he picks up a couple. That's all Joe Kane was defending out there.
You see the decision of Young right at the end. He was looking for John Taylor in the slot the whole time. And he started his throwing motion, and then he saw the corner drive it, and then he just continued it right out to the flat. I mean, when he does that, he reminds you of Montana. That's exactly what Montana used to do.
He's trying to make people forget. They never will here in the Bay Area, but Steve Young kind of got that monkey off his back. But, of course, still looking for that Super Bowl championship. 2nd and 8. Young drills it. Intended for Jerry Rice, and a good play by Jeremy Lincoln, and a flag goes down. And they got Lincoln there for pass interference.
Nice coverage by Lincoln outside. He just drove that ball. Looked, he must have gotten there a little bit before the ball got there.
Pass interference. Number 39 defense. First down.
Well, he got there a lot before the ball got there.
A lot. Well, this team that hasn't been penalized much has committed 2 big ones. One nullifying a big 22-yard gain on offense, and now giving the Niners another first down on the Bear 34. Will run. And he's close to another first down as the rain picks up here at Candlestick Park. The storm that we expected that didn't come early may be at hand.
Well, Young had a lot of time to look downfield because Harris Barton is doing his job. I mean, Harris Barton blew out his left tricep early in the season. And then he came back a little bit too soon against the Dallas Cowboys. But I think right now he's playing really at the top of his game. And when guys start playing like that, like I said, you give them all kinds of time to look downfield.
Steve Young ran for 60 yards against the Dallas Cowboys, his best effort. 2nd down and 1 and a first down. William Floyd. The rain has increased, and now we have a heavy rain here at Candlestick Park. That's what this area has had all week. Earlier today, the sun came out, clear skies, but now the storms are back. First and 10 on the 21. 7th play of the drive for the Niners. Here is Ricky Waters with the burst. And it'll be 1st and goal.
Nice trap inside. Derek Dietz with a nice block. They're just going to go with that cross block. Harris Barton goes down. Young comes to the line of scrimmage, and he sees exactly what he wants for this trap. Talked about Steve Young being in control. I've never seen him be in more control than he is right now in the passing game, and also in control with calling all the audibles at the line of scrimmage.
15-yard gain and a 15 first downs already for the 49ers. 1st and goal at the 6. Here is Ricky Waters, who gets to about the 4-yard line, and the tackle by Joe Kane. Driving rainstorm here at Candlestick.
Remember 2 years ago, they had all these rains in the divisional playoff game, and it tore the field up. And then when it came for time for the championship game, the field was a mess. They brought George Toma in, and they had to resod the field. Well, this year they thought if that happened, what they'd do is they'd have the sod ready to go, and now they have the sod sitting here in case the field does get bad.
Second down and goal from the 4. The handoff. William Floyd's going to get over for a touchdown. Second touchdown of the game for William Floyd. And with 6:04 remaining in the first half, the 49ers have scored 19 unanswered points.
And that was all William Floyd. This is just pure power. Make something happen by yourself. He gets stopped at the point. Now he comes back inside. 1, 2, 3 tackles that he broke to get into that end zone.
Including Dante Jones. So Doug Bryan will attempt the extra point. He's an emotional guy and is not afraid to admit it.
He couldn't wait to spike that thing.
He and Deion Sanders have helped change the personality of this 49er team.
Forget the personality. They changed the talent level, and that's what really matters.
Bryan's kick is good. So the 49ers now lead 20-3 over the Chicago Bears after trailing early.
This Fox NFL special, the NFC Divisional Playoff, is brought to you by IBM.
And the wind blows the ball off the tee. The rain has let up a bit. It is still raining, and the wind has increased. The 49ers with 20 unanswered points. 2 touchdowns by William Floyd. And put a little pin in the balloon of the upstart Chicago Bears here. Now Dana Hall is going to hold for Bryan. Nate Lewis back deep for the Bears. And Lewis will return from the 6-yard line. Following his blockers, Nate Lewis with a fine bit of running brings it out close to the 40-yard line. Well, today's Aflac trivia question is, before this year's Chicago Bears, what was the last team to make the playoffs without a Pro Bowl player? Now, that excludes the 1987 strike season when the Houston Oilers qualified with no Pro Bowlers. So, the last team to make the playoffs without a Pro Bowl player, and limping off the field now for the 49ers is number 53, Anthony Peterson. Good special teams performer. Rookie from Notre Dame. Bears with a first down from the 39. Out of the I formation. Steve Walsh's pass dropped by Keith Jennings, who caught a TD pass last week.
Have Bryant Young back inside, working the pressure. Bryant Young has made a big difference, on this team. I mean, before, what they had was they had to move a lot inside. And they had to have their tackles with a lot of movement. But because Bryant Young, 280 pounds, can get in there, throw that anchor down, plus he can still rush inside, they've really improved in their defense.
2nd and 10. Here's Raymond Harris. Well, Harris should be used to running on this kind of turf in this kind of weather, having played in the Big Ten at Ohio State. Picked up only 2 yards that time with Plummer on the stop, working on Peterson on the 49ers side. And limping off, Dennis Brown.
All kinds of guys limping off here. Dent, then Peterson, now Dennis Brown.
And Brown is replaced by Tim Harris. Third down and 6. Flag flag is down, and the pass incomplete. It was intended for Tom Waddle. And another flag has gone down. We may have an interference call, but one was thrown at the line of scrimmage as well, and Toy Cook complaining to the official.
Toy Cook is saying that the ball was tipped. And if the ball's tipped, then he can have that hit up there.
Howard Rowe will explain.
San Francisco jumped, it looked like, up front. That at the very least should give him 3rd and 1.
Ken Norton claiming that he got a piece of the ball.
We've got a multiple foul, offsides, nose guard on the defense. That penalty's declined. Defensive pass interference. Number 21 defense accepted. First down.
Well, Deion Sanders gets into the action despite. Let's see if the ball was tipped.
There's Ken Norton ready to uncoil. Yeah, he did tip it. Yeah, hey, Toy Cook is right.
So that should not be a pass interference call against Deion.
Yeah, especially because Deion wasn't anywhere to be found.
Toy Cook, 41, was over in the play. You want to make sure his name was mentioned today sometime. First down for the Bears on the San Francisco 49. Play action. And the pass is intercepted. Here is Merton Hanks. And he is ridden out of bounds by Whitnight. Pro Bowler Merton Hanks. What a great season he's had. And he returned it 31 yards.
A lot of time for Walsh to find who he wants to find. They're just sending right down there in the zone. You see him right up here. He's just watching the whole time. He's watching here and here. And once he sees Walsh make his mind up, watch him break on the ball. He read that thing before Walsh had a chance to read it. Get back in zone coverage and get back there and watch everything that the quarterback is doing. You're at a distinct advantage.
Hanks had 7 interceptions to lead the 49ers in the regular year. Pass was intended for Graham, but now the 49ers have a first down on the Bears 32, leading 20-3. Steve Young's pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage and intended for Brent Jones. That'll bring up second down with under 5 minutes remaining in the first half. So Steve Walsh has struggled. Bears have turned it over twice. 2 interceptions, one by Eric Davis, the one by Merton Hanks moments ago. And a 17-point lead by the 49ers. Eric Kramer. Still no indication that he would come in. 2nd and 10. Handoff and no gain. Ricky Waters. Nowhere to go.
Well, that Vincent Smith saw that thing, and boy, did he fill that hole. And that's what I like about these outside backers. Both these guys, Joe Kane and Vincent Smith. They see that thing, boy, do they attack it. That time they tried to bounce it outside, and Vincent Smith saw it, and boy, he just filled that thing quick.
I guess, Matt, that Dave Wannstedt trying to develop linebackers similar to the type he had in Dallas with a lot of speed.
In fact, he brought Vincent Smith from Dallas because of that. Guy who knew the system and also knew how to run the thing very well and could teach the other players as it went.
He goes out and Barry Mitter replaces him. 3rd down and 11. And 49ers will call timeout. That is the first timeout by either team in the first half. Today's Aflac trivia question again before this year's Bears. What was the last team to make the playoffs without a Pro Bowl player, excluding the 1987 strike season? And the answer to today's Aflac trivia question is the 1978 Atlanta Falcons. They had no Pro Bowl players.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, there's one guy here that should have made the Pro Bowl. That's Donnell Wolford. I thought he had an outstanding year. In fact, I think he made maybe the defensive play of the year
Barry Sanders.
when he caught Barry Sanders. That was a great, great effort.
And Mo Douglas, we've talked about another possibility. 3rd down and 11. And the pass incomplete, intended for Jerry Rice. So the Bears hold on 3rd and long.
Yeah, there's 2 Pro Bowl guys. Well, one going and one should be going. Jerry Rice on Donnell Wolford. Wolford playing him off, playing that zone. And then I think that 20-yard line just reached up and grabbed his ankle.
Jerry Rice has caught only 1 pass so far for 6 yards, but it doesn't matter when you look at the scoreboard. Niners lead 20-3, and they're going for it on 4th and 11. They don't feel Brian can kick the field goal, and they don't want to kick. Young caught by Rice, and a first down. That's why they went for it. Jeremy Lincoln covering in a gain of 18.
You know what I like about this 49er offense? They have a guy, Jerry Rice. They don't just set him in one spot. They move him all over the place. Left side, right side. Remember the previous play, he was on the right side working against Wolford. Now he's going to take Lincoln and just make him bite hard to the inside and then cut it to the outside. We talked about Jerry Rice only having 1 catch prior to this. But remember the 2 big blocks he had early that sprang Waters to get the yardage.
What confidence this team has in its offense. 1st and 10 on the 15-yard line, and William Floyd gets 2 yards. And now the Niners are in field goal range. Tackled by Chris Zorich with under 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half.
One spot where this Chicago Bear defense really not very big is right in the middle. Those 2 tackles. Chris Zorich, not a real big guy, 270 pounds. Dante Jones inside, not a real big physical guy. And so when you start to attack him inside, they have a tendency sometimes to wear down.
2nd and 8. Young this time with a pass to Rice. Knocks down. The crowd wanted a flag, but Joe Kane made a fine defensive play.
Yeah, good defense by Joe Kane. Yeah, good timing. Making sure that Rice comes down inside, and he's just going to jump and get in the outside. Let him work, and then all it is just a matter of timing. See, he sees the quarterback. I think he got away with one, though. I think he had that right arm on him.
Here is Young's pass distribution, and they're pretty much spread out. 3rd down and 8. 20-3, the 49ers lead. Pressure, Trace Armstrong, and now Zorich. Spellman puts a hit on Young as he goes out of bounds. And once again, the crowd displeased with the hard hit at the sideline. A loss of 5 yards, and a Bear is shaken up.
And that's a tough one over there because Steve Young's not one of those guys who's just going to run out of bounds. He'll try to get something extra. And Spellman knows it. He takes off. Watch this thing at regular speed.
And listen.
It looked right at the end that he was going to pull up and throw that thing. So I don't blame Spellman for putting a boom on him.
Hey, that's what the Bears do. That's what Dave Wannstedt said they would do today. And the 49ers are going to call another timeout. That's their 2nd. That'll leave them with 1.
Watch right at the end. It looks like he's going to try to throw right there. See that? And then Spellman just runs right through him.
Treat him like he's a running back. That's what Dave Wannstedt said.
Exactly. Well, that's Steve Young. There is a tough guy.
And speaking of tough guys, the Little Caesars All Madden team, Sunday, January 22nd at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central. And it'll be quite a team. Tough guys, huh?
Hey, all kinds. Tough guys, big guys, fat guys, little guys. You know what I like about the All Madden team? Well, first of all, I like the fact that I was on it. And then the second thing is everybody talks about it. You know, in the locker room the other day, they weren't talking about the Pro Bowl or who made All-Pro. They were saying, I hope I made John's team. I got a big kick out of that.
It's a badge of honor to be named to the All Madden team.
Yeah, I think, you know, you get a sweatshirt. That's what they really care about.
Steve Wallace is shaken up. He's the lineman with the double helmet or the shell.
It looked like he pointed to his neck like maybe he had a little bit of a stinger there.
Steve Young trying to stay healthy. Remember, the 49ers offensive line was decimated in the early part of the year, and that's when they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles 40-8. It was their only home loss of the year, and they responded, won 10 straight. Now Doug Bryan is aboard to kick 36-yard field goal attempt with Wilmsmeyer to hold it. Bryan has already missed an extra point today. And this kick is going to be good. Doug Bryan, third-round pick from right near in Berkeley at the University of California, makes good with a 36-yard field goal. It's 23-3, San Francisco. 2:45 remaining in the first half. 23-3, the 49ers lead as they have taken advantage of a Bears turnover. That's twice today they have been able to do that. After the Bears, following a Brent Jones fumble, scored the opening points on a Kevin Butler field goal. 23 unanswered points by the 49ers. This is the way the scoring has gone. Butler put the Bears in front. Since then, it's been all San Francisco with Floyd with 2 touchdowns and Brent Jones with a TD catch. Steve Young in control.
And the offensive line of the 49ers in control.
Doug Bryan fell down as he picked up by Robert Green. Tough little guy is Green as he brings it out to the 26-yard line. And Matt, what about tomorrow? The Green Bay Packers against the Dallas Cowboys. Second time they played, they met Thanksgiving Day.
I think this is going to be a definer for Dallas to see exactly where they at. They have to find out if Aikman's knee is ready. Can he throw deep? Can Irvin play? Is Emmitt Smith ready? Is that offensive line ready to take over? There's a lot of questions that have to be answered for the Dallas Cowboys.
And while the Packers don't have Sterling Sharp, what a defensive game they played against the Lions last week.
Yeah, great defense, and Brett Favre has really come on.
1st and 10 at the 28. Wallace getting some ice. Walsh chased by Harris is going to Conway, incomplete. Harris in for Dennis Brown at defensive end.
Nowhere to throw that football. Great coverage by the 49ers. You know, watch, they're going there. First, they're going to get great pressure up front and then look downfield. Nowhere to throw in that zone. Look at this. Everybody covered. Everybody has somebody on them. When there's coverage like that, you have to throw it away or eat it.
Walsh has been incomplete with his last 6 pass attempts. 4 for 12 in the game and 2 interceptions. There's Eric Kramer. No movement yet that way. 2nd and 10, quick toss, and unable to hold on to it was Ryan Wetnight. So the tight ends have not had sure hands today for the Bears.
Yeah, 3 of them that should have been caught. 2 of them were high, and this one looks like it's right in the chest. You know, and then you look at the stats, and then you start to say, Walsh didn't have a good game. But when you turn your head and don't watch the ball in, that's not the quarterback's fault. Not a happy guy.
Third down and 10. Walsh's pass caught by Conway. Gets away from a defender, but he's short of the first down by about 3 yards. And we're getting close to the 2-minute warning. Eric Davis missed the tackle. And an 8-yard pickup. The Bears are trailing by 23-3.
Well, the Bears needed to get something right here with 2 minutes. I mean, you're going to give the ball back to San Francisco here. They still have a 2-minute warning. They can drive the field. They get 30 points. Then it's really over.
49ers have used their last timeout of the first half. And you would think the Bears would have to go for it maybe, but no. Gardocki is out on the field.
And the Bears can't. The Bears have to give the 49ers as long a field as possible to drive, and then you got to stop them. Because right now you're down 23. This is not the kind of offense the Chicago Bears had to get back. They're not a come-from-behind offense. They're a control-the-ball offense, short kind of stuff. So right now, they're already in a bad position. They go down another 7 points. This one could get ugly.
Last time these teams played was here at Candlestick Park in the regular season, and it was a blowout for the 49ers to the tune of 52-14. Chris Gardocki will kick it away, and Dexter Carter goes back deep for the 49ers. 2:15 remain in the first half. The 49ers are out of timeouts. That's a moot point, really. And a fake.
And he dropped it.
Carter. And disaster has befallen on the Chicago Bears. Tony Carter dropped the snap, and the 49ers, with plenty of time, will have another chance to score in Bears territory.
Dave Wannstedt knew he had to try something to get back in it. They're going to just snap the ball right here to number 30. Carter, ball comes right to him, and he dropped it. When they were trying to hit this thing right here, he had 2 yards to go. Instead, they give the 49ers a short field with 2:11 to go, which means they still get the two-minute warning.
On the Bears' 32-yard line. Hand off to Ricky Waters. Down to the 28-yard line. Chris Zorich makes the tackle, and we are down to the 2-minute warning. Here at Candlestick, the Niners lead by 20 and are driving for more. Part of Fox's Funny Sunday.
There's a bored guy.
Nothing funny about...
You know, I watch Deion Sanders play sometimes. Honestly, I think he gets bored. I think he gets out there, nobody challenges him, and he just kind of hangs off.
You know what he said today? He says, I wish we didn't have any practice. I just want to show up for the games on Sunday.
Right.
2nd down and 6 on the Bears' 28. Niners are out of timeouts. Steve Young's pass caught by Rice. Stops the clock and goes out of bounds. Lincoln covering him. And a gain of 9.
Well, all game long, the protection has been outstanding for Steve Young, and it starts inside. When you want to rush Young, you want to try to work right up inside and try to take away that 3-step drop. Well, that comes down to guys like here. Jesse Sapolo, 61. Sapolo, who was an all-pro last year at center, moved to guard, was a company guy, did the whole thing, and became all-pro at guard this year.
First down on the 19-yard line. Here is Waters. And Sean Gale comes up from his safety position to make a tackle. Well, you've been talking about Jesse Sapolo, who's been part of Super Bowl championship teams of the 49ers, as you say. Versatile player up front.
Yeah, and a tough guy, too. And I played with him, and I liked him. And there's a couple things about him that you really like. Actually, I think he's a better center than he is a guard. But he's a football fundamentalist. He sticks to the basics. Best thing I like about Jesse Sapolo, he's a tough guy.
2nd and 8, diving catch made that time by John Taylor. It's a completed pass.
He stays with the basics. He's always good fundamentally. And then we always call him the quiet man, because you don't ever hear a thing about him. Nobody talks about him. He just keeps on going out there and plays week in, week out, play after play. Kind of like the old John Wayne character in The Quiet Man.
You know, Matt, he had to fight back from a lot of big-time injuries early in his career.
And he stayed with it, and he got better and better.
3 touchdowns and a field goal and 4 shots in the red zone. On 3rd down and 2, we may have an encroachment call against the Bears. Chris Zorich.
That was a good job by Bart Oates if he got him. Zorich jumped, and as soon as you see the jump, you snap the ball real quick. There's a guy, Bart Oates, they brought over from the New York Giants. Not a real big guy. Kind of light in the rear end, but with this offense, it's good because they don't really have to power people. They're always going sideways, and I think this offense suits Bart Oates pretty well. In fact, he made the Pro Bowl this year.
Offsides, defensive nose tackle, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, watch Bart Oates, how he snaps the ball. You're going to see. You watch Zorich jump inside. Now, as soon as he sees that, see how Bart just snapped it right away? That's one of those lawyer moves that he learned when he was studying for the bar.
Got to go to law school to learn that, huh? Steve Young is 13 of 18, which is one of the reasons why the 49ers this year have the best completion percentage in team history. Oates, a Pro Bowler, 1st and goal at the 6. Young is going to run, and he's going to score easily.
Oh, and a cheap shot by Sean Gale.
And Young fires the ball at Sean Gale, and he is engulfed by 49ers.
And I got to tell you, I agree with that right there. If I'm the 49ers, boy, I'd take off let anybody get after your quarterback. Steve Young put a move and just faked out one guy. He gets into the end zone.
William Floyd has just thrown Alonzo Spellman to the turf.
Boy, they're throwing flags and hats and beanbags, and they can't throw anymore else.
They may have some. They may throw people out.
That might be the next step. And now Steve Young is telling people to get out of there. I don't understand Sean Gale why he whacked him like that. He just got to be frustrated. Sean Gale's a good football player. It's very out of character for him. Watch Steve Young. He puts the move on. He comes right back inside. There's the move. Now watch Sean Gale. Clearly he's in for the score, and Gale drops him. And then Youngster turns around and spikes it right in his face. First guy in, you see who it was?
Number 80.
Jerry Rice.
He's blocked pretty much today. Why not help your quarterback?
Well, he just faked out Vincent Smith. What a move. And then there's the hit by Gale. Watch Steve Young turn around and just right in his face. Jerry Rice, I mean, he just jumps right in there.
We've got a personal foul on Chicago defense. We've got an unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting on the offense. Penalties offset. Touchdown.
Boy, is that baloney.
That's a bad call. Steve Young reacted by throwing the ball in what they call taunting. I tell you, I think he was restrained the way he threw the ball down, considering.
Yeah, but I'll tell you who really impressed me. I got Jerry Rice just jumped right in him. I mean, he knows where his bread is buttered. Watch Jerry Rice at the end. He's working with Wolford. He knows it's a touchdown. Now look, he gets hot. Look at that. He goes right after him. Man, you got to love that about your teammates. I mean, you got to just stay with the guy who's going to come back and fight for you. I love to have guys like that in my back.
They play like champions, and they act like champions, and they're a together team. Doug Bryan on to kick the extra point.
Yeah, and you can see Sean Gale. That's very atypical of Sean Gale. That's a good football player. He probably just got a little bit frustrated, or I don't know what happened, but he hit Young and he shouldn't have.
29-3 the score as the 49ers take advantage of Bears messing up on 4th down, and the kick is good. 30 unanswered points here in the first half by the 49ers, who lead Chicago 30-3.
And then you know you got two classy guys, Sean Gale and Steve Young, and you know the emotions get in, but when everything's all said and done, they go over there and they just talk it out. That's good to see.
Neither one of them meant it.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, it's a game of emotion. That's why you love to play a game like this. So Sean came over, he drilled him, and then I love Jerry Rice jumping in there, everybody defending Steve Young. Then when it's all said and done, hey, you make your piece and you go back and play again.
Steve Young has rushed for twice as much as the Chicago Bears team. 32 yards rushing to 15. 6-yard touchdown run up the middle. And it's 30-3 in favor of the 49ers. 1:17 remaining in the half.
Well, remember we talked about the Chicago Bear game plan of shaking their fist in their face and bloodying their nose. They never really got their chance. They went up 3-0. The 49ers scored. Then they came back on a turnover, and then it's been history ever since.
49ers have scored 30 or more points 9 times in the regular season, and now here in the playoffs. He can block. He'll defend you. He'll be the first one in the melee if need be.
And he'll be the first one in the Hall of Fame when his time comes.
Dana Hall will hold for Doug Bryan as he kicks off, and back deep will be Nate Lewis. Nate Lewis to return for the Bears from the 9. And with 1:10 remaining, Adam Walker making the tackle. Bears will go on offense. Coming up on Dockers halftime, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will take a look at the first half action And they'll look at what happened in the AFC Divisional playoff between the Browns and the Steelers. That's all coming up next on the Dockers Halftime. All Dave Wannstedt can do is shake his head. First down on the 32. Pass thrown underneath to Ryan Wetnight. Toy Cook defending, and a pickup of only 2. Under a minute remaining in the half. Walsh underneath to Green, who slips and is down. It'll be 3rd down and about 5. Clock continues to run. The Bears lining up in a hurry. Still have all 3 of their timeouts, and it appears they're going to let the time run out. Maybe another play or 2. 3rd down and 6. Passes to Graham. He's got a first down. Oh. And the tackle by Norton, and now the Bears have called their first timeout with 13 seconds remaining. Well, they let a lot of time go by, Matt, before they called that timeout.
I won't be surprised in the second half if we see Eric Kramer, because Eric Kramer has got the stronger arm, and he can push the ball down the field a little bit with this wind. Probably makes a difference. And really, at this point, you got nothing to lose.
Kramer with the jacket on, threw some warm-up tosses in the first half. As you pointed out, Walsh had many of his passes dropped in the first half. I want to remind you right now that this game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. 1st and 10 on the Bear 45 with 13 seconds remaining in the first half. Walsh fires to Green, and the Bears with 5 seconds remaining call a timeout. 6 seconds showing. Ken Norton defending and a gain of 8 yards. Rain is picked up as well here. Bears have 1 timeout left, but more important, the 6 seconds showing.
Well, in the first half, the San Francisco 49ers did everything right with the exception of the fumble early by Brent Jones. And they came out, remember we talked at the start how you wondered if the layoff would affect their timing. And I think they came out and showed that it hadn't at all. And I think that's a credit to the offensive line and also Steve Young. And when he has that much time, he just kills them.
It was that first drive after the field goal by Butler. 68 yards, 13 plays, 7:21. And that's when the 49ers really got into rhythm, and it's one they haven't lost.
And then when the Bears had their shot, they have that penalty that brings back the pass to Carter that really put them in the hole because they had something going. They had a little bit momentum going. So you go in at halftime, you regroup, and you try to stick your finger in the dike so it doesn't just flood on you.
2nd down and 2. This could be the last play of the first half. They flip it to Green. And Green is tackled as time runs out at the 25-yard line by Ken Norton. Few hard feelings as the clock runs down, and that's the end of the first half with the score, the 49ers 30, the Bears 3. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Special continues after these messages from your local Fox station. Limping a bit on the field, and Bears hopefully have not lost their top return man. Eric Kramer, as we said, has led the Lions in 3 previous playoff games, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and pretty impressive completion percentage of nearly 71%. But the Bears are in a 30-3 hole as Chicago starts from their 29. Give is to Tillman. And Tillman crosses the 30-yard line for a gain of a couple, and Gary Plummer is there to make the stop. George Seifert undefeated 4-0 in divisional playoff games, looking to get to the NFC Championship game for the 5th time in his 6-year coaching career. Deion Sanders has been a lonely man out there today, Matt. 2nd and 8. Kramer's pass caught. Good hit. Jennings on the reception.
Well, that Tim McDonald came up and drilled him, didn't he? I think Tim McDonald is one of those players that Deion Sanders has really helped. And I always felt like Tim McDonald's best part of his game was playing to the line of scrimmage. And really, he's a small linebacker is what he is. When Deion Sanders showed up, it freed up the coverage, and that allowed Tim McDonald to play closer to the line of scrimmage.
Former Cardinal, he came aboard last year, and now he's got Deion Sanders with him, and Merton Hanks vastly improved. Pro Bowler as well. 3rd down and 2 on the 37. Kramer swings it out to Raymond Harris, and he's got the 1st down. Harris was the leading rusher in the 1st half for the Bears with 16 yards. That's all on 5 carries. Toy Cook defending Harris, and the Bears with the 1st down.
You see with Steve Walsh out of the game, the offense now takes a little bit different look. If Kramer get back there and just boom, ball comes out a little bit quicker. And then he'll start setting things up underneath, and then he'll take his shot down the field.
1st down on the 43-yard line of the Bears. Bears need 4 touchdowns. Here's Harris, and a great play by Brian Young, and a loss of a yard on the play.
Well, we said he improved this 49er defense, and he did it with power, but on this play, he does it with quickness. Gets in that cocked stance, and then he just jumps around the guard. And he uses his great quickness right inside. See this? Now he's just going to jump. Real quick move. And then he's going to show up in the backfield. He beats Fontenot, and then nice tackle. That's a big play.
2nd down and 11. Tony Carter in the lineup for the Bears. That's Carter in motion. Kramer goes down. They didn't pick up Young. Brian Young.
He went so quick past that center, and he does a lot of good things. Take a look at Brian Young. You know, he's powerful at the point. He's a big, strong man, and power is really his game. But the thing that separates him is his attitude. He has that good veteran head. And you know what? He has made the difference in this defense, particularly inside. Watch how he just blows right past the guard right there, Lewinberg.
Young and Stubblefield had the most sacks on this team. Both defensive tackles from the inside. 3rd and 19 coming up. Kramer has time, and a pass is tipped, I think, into Green's hands. And Ricky Jackson got a hand on it, and Green, with a minimal gain, will bring up 4th down, and Gardocki will come in to kick it away.
Except for coverage, I cannot understand 3rd and 19 and you throw a 5-yard pass. I mean, that's got to be great coverage by the 49ers.
When you got 27.
Yeah, and you got to throw the ball downfield. I mean, you got to do it.
Kudos for Brian Young with a very good series and a sack. Dexter Carter back deep for the 49ers. Fair catch called for by Carter at the 30-yard line. So the Bears have had the ball with Eric Kramer, and now Steve Young and the Niners go to work, leading 30-3.
This Fox NFL special, the NFC Divisional Playoff, is brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light, by McDonald's, the official restaurant of the National Football League, and by the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Dick Stockton and Matt Millen here at Candlestick Park, where the Bears go on defense. Niners will start from their 30-yard line. Steve Young has a world of time, and the pass caught by John Taylor, and a gain of 26 yards.
You can see where Steve Young been throwing the ball today. I mean, I think the biggest thing to say is he hasn't had to. He's not gone deep at all. You can see there's nothing up here. Everything from 20 yards underneath. And they've been just methodically moving the ball down the field, really doing whatever they wanted with the Chicago Bear defense.
And that, of course, was before that 26-yard pass downfield. First down for the 49ers on their own 46. Here is Ricky Waters. Waters had 54 yards and 10 rushes in the first half. He gains a couple of yards with Zorich on the tackle.
I tell you, the offensive tackles of the 49ers have really played well today. Steve Wallace and Harris Barton. Because Trace Armstrong, Alonzo Spellman, they have not gotten pressure upfield at all. And then they've kept Steve Young in the pocket, but Young has been able to step up and has the time to make the completion.
Second and 9. Young has Rice. Steps out of bounds with Wolford giving him a lot of room, and a gain of 15 into Bear territory.
Again, more time. Watch Harris Barton working on Trace Armstrong. 93 is going to work. He's going to get a jam, and then watch right there. Boom. You see what that was? That was Ricky Waters giving him a hand. And I think when Harris Barton is on his game like he is right now, he doesn't need a hand. Harris went to the Pro Bowl last year, and then he tore that tricep, but I think he's come back all the way now.
49ers on the Bear 38. Young looking deep and going deep for Taylor, and Wolford with a chance at an interception.
Boy, he had so much time to throw that football. I mean, he could have read Tolstoy back there.
Or at least half of Tolstoy.
Look at this. No pressure whatsoever. And they're just blocking everybody out. I think what happens, you have so much time, you get nervous. You think this is too good to be true. Then he just overthrew John Taylor down below and almost had a pick by Donnell Wolford.
Even though the Bears have one sack today, they have really not put any pressure on Steve Young of note. Second and 10. Waters, Dexter Carter. Carter, after bobbling the ball, puts on a running display, fumbles, and let's see if the 49ers still have it. And Bears did not get possession before the ball went out of bounds.
They knocked it out of bounds. They had their chance right there.
Vincent Smith, and a gain of 23. I wonder whether Carter was going to throw the ball, Matt.
No, he had this thing all the way, but the thing is, he puts a nice move there on Wolford, cuts back inside, and then gets to the corner. The funny thing was, you can see Vincent Smith knocks the ball out, and then Sean Gale has a chance to get it, but it gets away from him, goes out of bounds. Nice job by Vincent Smith to know where the ball is and stripping it away.
49ers still using the bag of tricks with a 27-point lead with the end around. First and 10 on the 15-yard line. William Floyd.
Stop everything.
Tackled from behind by...
See Steve Young on that last reverse? He handed off. Heck, he was looking for people to block. He was running around in a circle, didn't know who to hit.
You said the Bears came in, they want to bloody some noses. Looks like the Niners are bloodying some noses of their own.
I think they're at the top of their game. I don't think they've missed a beat. I think they've come out, they've run this offense very efficiently. Steve Young is the same guy was a month ago.
Only 18 rushing yards for Chicago. That won't go up too much. Floyd stopped in his tracks by Kane and Jones. I wonder how long George Seifert will keep Steve Young in there.
I got to think that this would be, if it was me, it'd be my last series. Let him go in there, get one score. You go into 37 and then pull the troops out. You already saw 3 guys limp off here. Richard Dent hasn't been back since he hurt his knee. Dennis Brown hobbled off the one play. Peterson hobbled off. You don't want to take any chances getting people hurt.
And the Bears won't let him get in. But it'll be 1st and goal for the 49ers. Mark Carrier and company.
Go ahead, Steve Young. He just throws that ball and on a line. Watch this ball come right in. The only place it really can be thrown. Look at the coverage right there. That's a perfectly thrown ball, and then Brent Jones really wants to get into that end zone. Sean Gale's not going to let him get in because he started to spin out there to his left.
Jones already got in once today. 1st and goal at the 1. 5 catches and a touchdown. William Floyd goes in for his 3rd touchdown of the game.
That's number 3. Remember last year in this divisional game, Ricky Waters had 5. Heck, these guys can't decide who wants to spike the ball. They just play power football and they come right back inside. That's Jesse Sapolo with a nice block, and then Bart Oates right there, and Derek Deese. The 3 inside guys really do their job, and that allows Floyd to get in for the score.
Long day for that man, Dave Wannstedt. Doug Bryan, who has missed an extra point, only blemish for the 49ers today offensively, makes the kick good, and the 49ers now lead 37-3 over the Chicago Bears. '49ers going 70 yards on 9 plays, capped by William Floyd's 3rd touchdown of the day, a 1-yard run, and a 37-3 bulge. And Bryant kicking off again. Nate Lewis, who is shaken up, back in there now. And Lewis will return from the goal line. And Lewis, hard runner, brings it out to about the 28-yard line. 29-yard return. Pictures look good to Harris Barton, don't they? Timeout. 37-3, the 49ers lead the Bears, and they've scored 37 unanswered points after that opening field goal by Butler. Tomorrow, the Packers and the Cowboys. One of these teams will be playing the 49ers here next week.
And that Green Bay Packer team with Brett Favre throwing the football. Now, they didn't score the touchdowns last week, and I think it's clear that they do miss Sterling Sharp. But I think with Edgar Bennett and Shemora underneath of the tight end and throwing the ball outside to Brooks, they're going to have to move the ball down the field methodically. Kind of the same defense that the Chicago Bear defense is playing right now.
And as you pointed out earlier, the Dallas Cowboys have been out of sync. They've been struggling as of late, and they've got to get back into it, especially looking at what they could be facing. 1st down on the 28. Red Hall replaces Brian Young at defensive tackle for San Francisco. Here's Raymond Harris. No gain.
Yeah, I really think right now that the Bears have to open it wide up. And you got to go with 4 wide, spread the field, even go to hurry up offense. You got to do something to score points. I mean, you're down by 34 points. You're not going to get there by running Raymond Harris up inside.
And they didn't bring Eric Kramer in to hand the ball off either. 2nd down and 10. Kramer swings it out to Tillman. He was covered out there by Lee Woodall, couldn't hold on. But you can see the great coverage downfield by the 49ers on the deep receivers.
Yeah, if you're going to have to throw the ball underneath, you don't have Lewis Tillman in there. You got to put Robert Green in. He's the guy who catches the ball. Look, I think you just throw everything out. I mean, don't be conventional now, because this is not a conventional time of the game. You're down 34 points. You don't have a game plan for that. So you got to make it up on the fly. And I think you're just going to speed it up and get that defense out of him just sitting in his zone.
And speaking of Robert Green, he's now in the lineup for the Bears on 3rd and 10. Kramer's pass, trying to go to Conway, incomplete. Eric Davis's side, and that will bring up 4th down, and the Bears will kick.
I don't like that series by the Bears at all. I don't like trying to run inside and I don't like the conventional offensive set. I think you spread it out. The only way you're going to get back in is if you throw it. So who are we kidding? Just get out there and start winging it.
37-3. You better start winging it. Dexter Carter is back deep. Carter looking for running room. And he is tackled at the 29-yard line by Maurice Douglas. 50-yard kick. And a new quarterback, Elvis Gerbach, when we come back.
You want to watch pride and fight and something that matters to you? Watch Mo Douglas. You're down by 34. This guy has no quitting him. And then he just battles people all the way down. And then what a great sense for the ball. And I think this is one of the reasons why Mo Douglas is the kind of player he is. I mean, this guy will not quit.
You mentioned Wolford as a Pro Bowler. He could have joined them too. Huh?
Yeah, and he got one of the great looks in the league. See that? See that double earring look right there? And he got the headband. I told him he looks like he belongs down at Disney or in the Islands of the Caribbean.
That's James Michener, isn't it? Elvis Gerbach is in for Steve Young. And the give is to Dexter Carter. And he is tripped up by Sean Gale. This game summary is brought to you by Budweiser, and it's been all 49ers. Rookie William Floyd with 3 rushing touchdowns, and Young leaves the game having completed 16 of 22, 143 yards and 1 touchdown, and precision perfect.
Now, I was mistaken. They told me that Steve Young was a lawyer. Today, he looked like a surgeon.
2nd down and 5 at the 33. Gerbach's pass thrown behind Nate Singleton. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Dick, you and Matt mentioned it about Green Bay and Dallas. Well, tomorrow here on Fox, Reggie White and the Packers defense will have their sights set on stopping yet another outstanding running back. This one, Emmitt Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. He's one of many weapons, and they'll be in action tomorrow here on Fox. Back to Dick and Matt.
Remember, the Packers led the Cowboys Thanksgiving Day at the half.
I think their defense is playing better now than it was at that time. Reggie White's healthy.
Gerbach in his first playoff appearance with 3rd down and 5, and the pass intended for McCaffrey is overthrown, and that'll bring up 4th down. And in case you're wondering, substitutions have also been made in the offensive line. Yes, Steve Young is a Fox and performing well on Fox today, man. Frank Pollock, Chris Dahlman, and Ralph Tam all came in on the offensive line as Wallace, Sapolo, and Oates getting a breather. That's going to be the first punt of the game coming up now for Klaus Wilmsmeyer. High kick, fair catch called for by Jeff Graham. And the Bears will go on offense again. They've managed only 3 points today.
This Fox NFL special, the NFC Divisional Playoff, is brought to you by IBM.
Along with Matt Millen, this is Dick Stockton here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Many of the regulars getting a breather, as they did for the 49ers in their last regular season game. Not the defense yet, though. Steve Young with a sensational game, and the Bears start from their 29-yard line. 2 tight ends, and Eric Kramer's pass to Graham. And Graham slips, and he's down. Under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd, and Jeff gets up gingerly. Only 2 catches today for the leading receiver this year for the Bears.
And then you see Tony Wise, the offensive line coach, and did a good job with that offensive line. But yeah, right now, now they're going to go still with 2 wides and 2 backs and a tight end. This I do not understand.
2nd and 6, the handoff to Lewis Tillman for a couple will bring up 3rd down. If you're the Bears and you're way down 37-3, what are you trying to accomplish from here on in?
I think what you got to try to do is get a little bit of confidence back in. Look, you got to score 34 points. I said it the last time. Go 4 wide receivers. Go hurry up. You have nothing to lose. You got to score points. You're not going to do it by working the clock off. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Third down and 2. Troy Wilson and Tim Harris defensively in for San Francisco. Kramer's pass is caught by Whitnight, and he gets to the 49ers 45. Merton Hanks on the tackle and a gain of 19.
Kramer had the time to throw that ball. Now he just looks downfield, waits for Whitnight to clear the backers, and he just has the middle of the field wide open. They went with a 3 wide receiver, 1 tight, so you essentially have the four receivers. I would like to see a 4th wide though, and then also the hurry up.
First and 10 on the Niners 45. Kramer with a short drop and the pass.
Nice catch
by Raymond Harris with a defender right on him. Lee Woodall. Pick up a 5. There's Lee Woodall.
Yeah, I think that Lee Woodall is going to be okay. Came out of Westchester from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Heck said he used to go down there and watch the Redskins practice all the time at training camp. The kid, he came in there with big eyes at the beginning of the season because it was such a new experience. But he's a big, strong kid, and he runs pretty well. I think he's got a chance.
All new linebackers this year starting for the Niners. Second down and 5. Pass up the middle. And once again, it's Raymond Harris, and meeting him head on was Gary Plummer, who came over from San Diego and has been a big addition this year.
Yeah, well, they needed somebody in the bubble who was going to attack. And Gary Plummer was their guy. You know, Plummer did it for such a long time down in San Diego. Now they bring him up here, and they just want him to be aggressive and just force things. Now, what happens sometimes with Plummer is he's not a real big guy, so he'll go flying in there, and then he may come flying out sometimes as fast as he went in when he get those real big offensive linemen on him.
This defensive unit gelled toward the second half of this year. 3rd and 3. McDonald on a blitz. They pick him up. And Kramer's gone down. That's Tim Harris with the sack.
That's a coverage sack. There's no place to throw that football. Everybody had coverage. Kramer looked downfield and saw nothing. And then he just had to try to buy some time by rolling out, and then Harris got him. Watch, they go with motion, and they bring Tim McDonald walking up. Now you look downfield, and there's really no place to throw the ball. Right here, look, stop, stop, stop. Everybody covered. He tries to roll outside, and that's when Harris gets him. Good coverage.
4th down and 10. 3 wide receivers line up now. Here comes the pressure. And the pass is caught for the first down. And Tom Waddle, the big 3rd down clutch receiver with Toy Cook on his back, gets a big first down to the 25-yard line and a gain of 20.
Nice job by that offensive line, allowing him to have some time. And then he can find Waddle coming down right across the middle. Anytime you're running this pattern where you got to buy some time, you have to have time from your offensive line to do that.
Tom Waddle been a clutch receiver for the Bears, so they make good on 4th and 10. Start on the 25 of the Niners. Kramer zeroes in, and he completes the pass to Conway about a yard short of another first down. Eric Davis defending.
Now look at this offense now. You start to see him throwing it all over the place, and you wonder where the heck was it before. And I think a little bit of this is Eric Kramer, because he runs a different kind of offense. Like I said, he has the stronger arm, and he can throw that out, and he can throw it down the middle. Ball comes on the line.
And that is the end of the 3rd quarter here at Candlestick Park with the score. The 49ers 37 and the Bears 3. Start of the 4th quarter here at Candlestick Park. It's been all 49ers. Bears scored first on a Kevin Butler field goal following a San Francisco turnover, and then the Niners have 37 unanswered points, but the Bears, with their deepest penetration, have a 2nd down and 1 on the Niners 16. Kramer looking for a receiver, finds Jennings, who's got the 1st down inside the 5. Gary Plummer on the tackle. So the Bears looking for their 1st touchdown of the game.
Kramer get back there, set up. He looks outside first, and then he comes back inside for Jennings. Tries to pull the safety. No pressure at all. He's able to step up and find Jennings. Good job by the O-line.
Offensive tackle Jim Flanagan is in the game as a blocking back on short yardage. There's Flanagan, and Lewis Tillman is the setback at 1st and goal. Play fake and the pass, touchdown, and it's to Flanagan. He'll always be able to tell his kids that Flanagan, an offensive lineman, caught a team.
Yeah, he looks like he belonged there. You see that? Just took it, flipped it to the referee. Yeah, I knew I'd get in. Flanagan they go with that play action. Flanagan comes right at you, and then Kramer does a good job of looking back to the corner of the end zone first, and then just dumps it out to Flanagan. Watch him at the end. Look, big celebrator. Hey, you're a defensive guy. You just pop it right in there. No big deal. Yeah, I belong there.
So defensive linemen love to score, and doesn't always come that easy. They're going for 2. Bears are 2 for 6 2-point conversions this year. Kramer throws, and the Bears do not convert. It was intended for Curtis Conway, and so the score remains 37-9. But defensive tackle Jim Flanagan on the touchdown reception. 1st TD of the game for the Bears, who now trail 37-9.
This Fox NFL special, the NFC Divisional Playoff, is brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. By Chrysler Cirrus, it's not just a step above, it's the new plateau. And by Home Box Office.
Chicago Bears, after allowing 37 points in a row following their opening field goal, get a touchdown, and now the Bears are going to try an onside kick. 37-9. They line up their people on the left side. It'll be Gardocki with the onside kick, and it's covered up by the 49ers. And they will retain possession. And it was Ted Popson, the tight end. Well, the Bears went 71 yards in 10 carries and 10 plays for their score. Obviously their best drive of the game, but this is after the barn door has been nailed shut. So now the 49ers, with Elvis Gerback at quarterback, starting his 2nd series, will be operating with a short field. They will start from the 37 of the Bears. Singleton and McCaffrey, the wide receivers. Dexter Carter in motion, and he's nailed behind the line by Zorich.
That Chris Zorich has a motor. I mean, that's another one of those guys like Mo Douglas. He's not going to quit. He's going to keep on playing. A lot of pride. He had a good year this year. He's not a real big guy, 275 pounds. He's only 6'1", and sometimes he has problems when offensive linemen just start pounding on him because he just doesn't have. There's not enough of them to ward it off. But I'll tell you what, he makes tackles downfield 5-10 yards because of that motor.
He's a spirit. Loss of 8 yards, 2nd and 18. Gerback with a play fake, fires, caught, wide open is Dexter Carter. And Carter is going to get in for the touchdown. Or no, they say the 1-yard line. Mark Carrier saved the score at the 1. A 44-yard play.
Boy, the middle of that field was wide open. Gerback had the time, stepped into it, and then he just a matter of finding him come across the middle. Then it's just a foot race, and then Carrier does a good job of getting down there preventing the score, but it's down on the 1.5-yard line.
So you get the feeling the 49ers may be going in for another score, man.
Yeah, just a hunch.
Adam Walker and Carter, the running backs. Over the top, no call yet. He did not get in. Adam Walker did not get over the goal line. And it'll be second down. Dave Wannstedt's Bears at one time won 7 of 9 games, including victories at Miami and over the Detroit Lions, a playoff team.
I think the Chicago Bear team, they're a little bit ahead of where they thought they'd be. See, R.C. Oop Owens, Alley Oop Owens there with Jerry Rice.
Second and goal. And he's got it there. Touchdown for Adam Walker. So even with the backups, the beat goes on. But remember, the Bears tried an unsuccessful onside kick.
Hey, saw Ralph Tam was in there. That's good news for the 49ers.
And the injured arch, huh?
Yeah, he'd been out all year. He was hoping that he could play. Came over and showed me how good it was. I asked him if it hurt. He said, yeah.
43-9. Day at the office for George Seifert. An easy one, as it turned out. Doug Bryan for the extra point. And Bryan's kick is good. Still plenty of time remaining in this fourth quarter. Adam Walker gets a playoff touchdown, and the 49ers raise their lead now to 44-9.
Yeah, see Steve Young down there on the phone. I saw in the paper the other day, he said sometimes when it gets to be a blowout, I call home. I talk to my mom and dad.
It is a blowout.
So maybe he's calling home back to Connecticut right now. Yeah, because that's a regular phone.
Yeah.
He may be talking to Mom right now.
And Mom may be saying they're talking about you, talking to us. Earlier today, the Steelers made it 3 in a row this year over the Browns, 29-9 to move into the AFC title game against the winner of the Miami-San Diego game tomorrow. Nate Lewis is back deep, and Bryan will kick off again. 44-9 in favor of the 49ers. Squib kick, Lewis. And he's stopped at the 32-yard line by Kevin Mitchell. 19-yard return. The back judge, Al Jury, is shaken up, getting some ice on the back of his neck over on the 49ers bench.
Looks like the same thing as Steve Wallace had. There's Steve Wallace walking around with that ice bag on the back of his neck.
I understand that Jury slipped on that long play with Carter, that 44-yard play to the 1.
Steve's still talking to his dad, mom and dad at home.
Rolling up that phone bill. First down on the 30, flips it to Lewis Tillman. Tillman is tackled by Kevin Mitchell, and right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Dick, as the playoffs continue tomorrow on Fox, Green Bay will be looking to ride the arm and feet of quarterback Brett Favre. A fearless competitor, he'll be the target of the headhunters on the Dallas Cowboys defense. A defense intent on successfully defending their Super Bowl title. The action is here tomorrow on Fox. Back to Dick and Matt.
That could be a good game. Try to turn the tables from their loss Thanksgiving Day. Second down and 6. Kramer to Carter, and Carter is hit as the ball got there by Antonio Goss.
That Dallas defense has a good pass rush. And that Charles Haley, who's really had a great year. In fact, I thought that Charles Haley or Kevin Green should have been the defensive player of the year and not Deion Sanders. And I think Deion Sanders has had a very good year, and he's made a big difference here with his 49er in terms of coverage. But for the life of me, I can't understand why a defensive back or how a defensive back could win that award. It's got to go to a front 7 guy.
Interesting that Rod Woodson was second, wasn't he? Third down and 6, another defensive back. Kramer's pass. Tom Waddle's got it. And that'll be a first down for Chicago. Tyrone Drakeford, you mentioned Mo Douglas, whose motor's always running regardless of the score.
Yeah, Chris Zorich and Tom Waddle. You know, and then Waddle's always one of those guys that as a defensive back or a linebacker, you look at him and say, oh, I could cover him. But it seems like he always comes up with the catch because he's a smart guy and he knows how to work a defender. He'll push him off one way, come back the other way.
First down on the 47. Kramer's pass was intended for Graham. Well, we said at the outset that the 49ers, with all of the moves that Eddie DeBartolo and Carmen Policy made, acquiring all the veterans and spending all the money needed to win the Super Bowl, anything short of that would really amount to a failure for what they have done.
Yeah, and really, to be honest, that hasn't changed at all since DeBartolo took over. I mean, his goals have always been very, very high, and the Super Bowl is success. Anything else is failure.
Pass to Conway, and incomplete is the call. Well, you know, talking about some of the veterans that they went out and got. And how about this group? Career sackmen: Richard Dent of the Bears, Jackson of the Saints, Charles Mann of the Redskins, and Tim Harris of the Packers.
Yeah, let's see, 783 carry to 1 quarter. That looks like it's about 405 if my math is good.
Well, you're a whiz.
That's the new math. 405 sacks that they brought in.
What's the old math?
The old math would have been probably 403. I'd have been off by 1 or 2.
There's Dent. 3rd and 10. Kramer gets the rush, but completes the pass anyway to Waddle. And Waddle will go out of bounds after picking up another first down. Dana Hall defending, and there's some mud on Tom Waddle's jersey.
That looks right, doesn't it? That looks like what Tom Waddle should be. And then you got Ricky Jackson working up top, and Tim Harris down below beating Big Cat Williams right in Kramer's face, but Kramer still can get the ball off.
That's when his uniform was clean.
And then right at the end of this, you're going to see why his uniform is dirty. Again, you know, there's one of those guys that everybody thinks you can cover. He goes in clean and he comes out all Madden.
16-yard gain. Hand off to Raymond Harris. Driving, and look at Harris go. Toy Cook knocks him out of bounds. I'll tell you, the Bears are getting wiped out today, but they have not stopped playing hard.
Well, they got some guys who are players. Raymond Harris is one of them. And I think what the Bears found in Raymond Harris is the fullback who can do a lot of things. And the one thing he does pretty well is lower his shoulder. So he runs pretty low. Then he doesn't stop those feet, and then he just kind of has guys bounce off him. Dana Hall bounced off him, and then Toy Cook, and then Dedrick Dodge gets over there, and he's still going. And then at the end, he slaps Deion Sanders 5.
First down on the 26 of the 49ers. Gets hit, does Kramer. Good pressure. And it was Tim Harris coming from the outside. Want to remind you, at the end of this game, Matt and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game.
And that's not an easy task to do with the 49er team. And all those people, and I think one thing that really happened today that was good for the 49ers is it looked like John Taylor was back. And I think they need John Taylor to take some of the pressure off. He's one of those guys who's a strong runner, and it was questionable if his knee was healthy, but I think today it showed that it was.
4 catches for 51 yards today for JT. Kramer's pass is caught by Graham, and he stayed in bounds and picked up maybe 10 extra yards and a 13-yard pickup in all. Missing the tackle was Dana Hall.
Well, he did the tightrope back down there, Graham. That ball was thrown low and outside from Kramer. He picked it, then he just had those good feet right down the sideline.
There was a guy who's had a fine year for the Chicago Bears. He was sort of a forgotten man in Pittsburgh with the Steelers and came to Chicago and led the team in receiving with 68 catches.
And almost had 1,000 yards, and they haven't had one of them in Chicago for a long time.
On the 13-yard line, the pass to Wetnight. And the tight end ridden down by Gary Plummer. And a gain of 3 with 8:35 on the clock.
I think what Dave Wannstedt knows is that they're on their way, they're on the right track, but they're still about 5 or 6 players away. They still need to get a pass rusher, which they don't have. They still need some help in that offensive line.
Here's Graham, and Dana Hall has him tackled inside the 5, close to the first down. And I guess they need a couple of skilled players as well, man.
Yeah, they do. And I think they're going to be okay, though. I think Dave Wannstedt, really, when I look at that Coach of the Year, I like Bill Parcells, always have. But I think they may have picked that thing a little bit prematurely because I think Dave Wannstedt is as deserving as anyone.
Well, he did not have Drew Bledsoe at quarterback, which is something that Bill Parcells had, and I'm sure Parcells is delighted with that. But Kramer, who has now completed 17 of 23, measuring to see whether the Bears have a first down. There's Shine.
I think on the other side of the ball, those San Francisco 49ers, I think the one thing that they've done very well is they've kept that nucleus together. And with Jerry Rice and John Taylor and Brent Jones, and they augmented it with a guy like William Fuller. And they just allowed Steve Young to do his thing.
They do it well. 3rd down and 1. Robert Green gets to the goal line and is not over. But he's got the first down. Dedrick Dodge undercut him, and so that will be 1st and goal for the Bears.
I think the other thing the 49ers did is help themselves defensively. You know, you're bringing a guy like Deion Sanders, which was a major coup at the time, but I think the real help comes up front. And I think those 2 young down guys, Dana Stubblefield and also Bryant Young, those are the guys who really made the difference in this defense.
They'll be around for a long while. 1st and goal. Tillman, and he doesn't get over. He might have lost a half a yard.
Nice read by Gary Plummer. And he saw that thing came right over the top. That's good experience. That's a good look right there, too.
And there's even a lot of pride with the backups on the defensive line, and there aren't that many when you really look down to it for the 49ers. They don't want the Bears to get another TD here.
Yeah, you can see it right now. They're going to call for the crowd to get into it, and who's leading them? Ricky Jackson.
2nd and goal, play fake. Pass, knocked down, fine play that time by Ricky Jackson.
Ricky Jackson, his 14th year, still getting fired up, trying to get the crowd into it. This is one guy who I always liked as a football. From the day he came in, actually I liked him from Pitt, when we played him when I was at Penn State. The guy always played hard, and you always knew what you would get with Ricky Jackson, and that was a big effort.
Trying to go to Jennings, 3rd and 1, 15th play. And it's 4th and goal, and the 49ers defense with a great stand here that really doesn't amount to much when you look at the scoreboard. Again, it was Gary Plummer leading the way. And goal from the 2 now. Eric Kramer to throw, and the Niners hold. Flag is down though, so let's wait. Flag thrown in the end zone.
Pass interference. Number 28 defense in the end zone. By rule, spot the ball on the 1-yard line. 1st down.
So it'll be another 1st and goal. Dana Hall on the pass interference in the back of the end zone gives the Bears 4 more downs.
Heck, I think they should go to that secret weapon, Jim Flanagan, out of the backfield again. Watch it come with a crossing receiver at the back. Right down there, they called Dana Hall. Looked like he hit Jennings.
1st and goal. Tillman gets over. Touchdown, Chicago. So the former New York Giant, Louis Tillman, He scored last week against the Vikings with a 1-yard plunge. And it's now 44-15. And the Bears will go for 2 again. Failed in their first attempt.
Tillman this time just finds Flanagan and runs right behind him. Flanagan gets a nice block. Then Tillman finds the crack. See, there's a block right there. Tillman back inside.
Tillman wound up the second leading rusher for the Bears this year. 2-point conversion attempt. Tipped away, and it doesn't go again. Intended for Conway. And Toy Cook got a hand on it, so twice the Bears have been foiled, and the score remains 44-15. Well, from the network that brought you in living color, get ready for the freshest, craziest, most outrageous sketch comedy show ever. House of Bucket, starring comedian John Leguizamo. Catch the series premiere tomorrow at 8:30, 7:30 Central after a brand new Simpsons, part of Fox's Funny Sunday.
Leguizamo, huh?
Yeah, that's the guy. Onside kick. Again attempted by Gardocki. And is recovered by Ed McCaffrey. Well, let's look at the 49ers and put in perspective. Is this the best offense ever by the San Francisco 49ers?
Well, you can see the numbers. Those are all their Super Bowl years. And you can see 60 touchdowns, 32 points a game. You'd say yes. As a matter of fact, Jerry Rice is the guy who said yes. He thinks this is the best offense that they've ever had.
They had another year, which was not a Super Bowl year, that they had a great offense.
87.
First down on the Bears' 42-yard line. Adam Walker for a couple.
In fact, they look back on that 87 team and say that may have been their best team ever. And remember, that week, that team kept on popping up this week because that was a team that came in here as a heavy favorite against the Vikings and then got beat in circumstances similar to today's game.
That's the game that Anthony Carter started, and Minnesota won.
I think that game was close enough in George Seifert's mind and some of the players here that it served as a notice that it won't happen again.
Joe Kane is shaken up. We'll be back.
This Fox NFL special, the NFC Divisional Playoff, is brought to you by IBM.
Bob McKittrick, the offensive line coach, well, he's overdressed. We saw him the other day at Stanford on a cold day wearing shorts, a T-shirt, and sandals.
Yeah, well, I tell you, that offensive line of the 49ers, you can see we give them our Miller Lite players of the game because Steve Young had the time to throw, and William Floyd had the holes to run for those touchdowns, and it's because of that offensive line.
Fumble on the snap. So the Miller Lite players of the game are the offensive line for the 49ers. And you remember in midseason they had at least 3 of their starters out, but they got back when they had to get back, and they're in peak form for the important games and will play in the NFC Championship game next Sunday against either the Dallas Cowboys or the Green Bay Packers. That game coming to you tomorrow on Fox. 3rd down and 9. There's one of them there, Jesse Sapolo. Gerback with a lot of time gets it out to Ted Thompson, and Barry Bitter and company drive him out of bounds.
Derek Deese and Harris Barton, the right side, are still in there and still playing well.
How about Derek Deese? He was a player that Bob McKittrick, who we showed you moments ago, really said this guy can become a terrific offensive lineman. There were some doubters in the camp for the 49ers and proved McKittrick right.
Yeah, well, the guy can move. He can run well, and he can get outside, and that's the kind of offense that this 49er team is. They like to use the speed of the guards outside.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer will punt for only the second time, and Jeff Graham is back for the Bears. Nearly blocked. And the kick will sail into the end zone for a touchback. With 4:01, 4 minutes exactly.
You see that goof?
Yeah.
You see that goof jumping the ball? That's going to try to steal it.
He's probably not even an official mascot. He probably just got on the field dressed as one. In case you're wondering about the Bears' worst playoff defeat, it happened in 1956 at Yankee Stadium when the Bears lost to the New York Giants in the NFL championship game 47-7. Frank Gifford, Alex Webster, Mel Triplett, stars of the Giants then. 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line.
Where did that come from? Holy smoke.
Here is Eric Kramer, and the pass knocked down. Fine play made back there by Tyrone Drakeford on the pass intended for Conway. Who does? It's a familiar face.
Says he'll work for Super Bowl tickets. I'm sure he will.
Well, we're going to thank some people who have been with us all year and have done a terrific job, and we're real close to them. And we want to tip our hats to Richie Zients, our producer, Artie Kempner, our director, Pete Macheska, our associate producer, who have been terrific cohorts for us all year, Matt.
I don't think it gets much better than those guys.
They don't.
The best group of knuckleheads I've been around in a long time.
Our executive producers, Ed Gorin and David Hill. And I'm already looking forward to next year.
And so are the Chicago Bears, because I think they started something to build on.
Eric Kramer's pass is caught by Wetnight, hit immediately by Mitchell. Winding down to 3 minutes remaining. Does he hold on to it? And they call it a good catch at the 40. Good for 8 yards. Plummer. Our crew also included our broadcast associates, Eric Shank and Jim Bruska, with us every week. And our fine technical crew. Audio, videotape replay, and cameraman. Penalty marker down. Kramer completes the pass to Wetnight. And Antonio Goss all over him. Clock stops with 2:36 remaining in the game.
Offside, number 92 defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Troy Wilson offsides. Well, there's a fella, Ken Norton. And we talked about Stubblefield. Norton could be playing against his former team next week if Dallas does beat Green Bay tomorrow.
You know, the worst part about games like this when you're on the loser's sideline is 1 minute you're playing a game and then the game's over and all of a sudden you're home and it's the end of the season. And there's no practice the next day and there's no reason to show up and it just kind of all hits you. And it takes you a good month to wind down, because you have all that stuff in you, and that's when the wives really kind of go nuts, when their husbands get home when the season's done and they still got to get that whole season out of them.
Takes that long, huh?
Yeah, it really does. It takes a time to wind up to get your mind right for the season, and then it takes some time to wind out of that thing again. My poor wife used to drive her nuts.
2nd and 10 now at the 45-yard line of the Bears. Kramer goes down like a sack of wheat, and it was Rhett Hall, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
And we know that wheat falls different than potatoes. Holy smokes.
New math, Matt.
Yeah, there's new math. My total, look at this. 11 there, there's 15. Put the 5 there, there's 95 and 18. There you go. Yeah. 95 and 18. See that? And Richie Zients thinks he's a smart guy down there trying to put the numbers on there.
Another sack, and it's Tim Harris. His second sack of the game, and number 4 for the 49ers. As We get down to the 2-minute warning. This is a celebration day for a team that is on a mission. No question about it.
You know, and for the winning side in a game like this, the best part about it is that you get all of your all the hoopla and all the excitement out now while the game is still going on. By the time you get to the locker room, you're on to the next game.
2-minute warning here at Candlestick. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are hosting Fox's Funny Sunday, a non-stop night of comedy beginning tomorrow at 7, 6 Central. So if having a few laughs and watching football's most beautiful women doesn't sound bad, check out Fox's Funny Sunday, hosted by the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders tomorrow on Fox.
See, Maxwell Smart is going to be back.
Smart will be there. Gardocki will be kicking, and Carter is back deep. Jerry Rice today with 4 catches for 48 yards. They'll let that ball bounce, and it is down by Theory, who was the #1 pick this year.
There's George Seifert. You know, you notice one thing about George Seifert is he never gets that Gatorade thrown on him. He said it happened his first year in '89 when they won the championship, and it hasn't happened since. And what the 49ers have done, they've assigned their equipment manager, Bronco Hinnick, to guard the bucket so George don't get doused.
Hey, he's loosened up, though, considerably this year.
Yeah, look how loose he looks there.
No, but you're right. But we saw in practice the other day with Deion Sanders. I think they've kind of been kidding the coach, and he's loosened up, and he kind of enjoys a new personality on this ball club.
Yeah, you know, I told you about personality. That personality is great when you're winning. When you're losing, personality stinks.
In case you're wondering, the record for the most points in postseason, 55 by the Niners. There's Bronco right now.
Yeah, look at it. There's a guy who's half the size of everybody on the sideline, and they give him the bucket. that don't make sense.
He looks tough, though.
Oh, yeah, he's a tough guy. Yeah, he's a tough guy when it comes to taking new socks. He doesn't let anybody get them.
Largest margin of victory for the 49ers in postseason, a 45-point victory over the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 24, 55-10. Not quite that today, but pretty huge.
Well, this 49er team looks like they're ready to go. I mean, I think they erased any doubt that they would be out of sync. They came out ready to go, and they threw 44 points up there pretty quick.
Coming up on the NASDAQ Stock Market Postgame Report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will look at today's NFC and AFC Divisional Playoff games. Coming up next on the NASDAQ Stock Market Postgame Report. Tell you, my friend, it's been a treat working with you, and I appreciate it.
And it's been my pleasure, believe me.
Half a minute to go. Thanks also to Chris Visser and Dave Corris in the booth. The 49ers going to be a force to be reckoned with. And they will go to the championship game. Bears scored on a field goal, and the Niners had 37 unanswered points. And the clock winds down, and the final score, 44-15 in favor of the 49ers. So for Matt Millen and Tim Green, I'm Dick Stockton saying so long from Candlestick Park. Final score, the 49ers 44 and the Bears 15. Coming up next is the NASDAQ Stock Market Post-Game Report with JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. You're watching Fox Sports coverage of the National Football League. So long, everybody.
Back here in Hollywood for the NASDAQ Stock Market Post-Game Report, and you can take any number you want. San Francisco had its way today over the Chicago Bears, 44-15, 12 points better than San Francisco's regular season scoring average. And again, any number you want, Steve Young had the Bears number.
Steve Young had a great day. The running game today was the difference. William Floyd here with a 2-yarder to put the 49ers up 7-3. Now Young comes back, finds Brent Jones on an 8-yard touchdown run, 13-3. Niners are up. And it started to rain. Well, would that slow him down? I don't think so. William Floyd hit again, says I can't go frontwards, I'll go backwards. 20-3, Niners up over the Bears. Steve Young scrambles, getting out of the pocket, turns it on like all the great ones do, sprints out of bounds, gets hit by Alonzo Spellman, and he's down, but he's not out. Still 20-3. This time Young sets up, JB fires, no he doesn't, looks left, scrambles right, Sean Gale, Dixon one right there. Whoa! Jerry Rice, don't do it, Jerry. We got another game to go.
He got some help, though, Jerry.
Oh, yeah, Jerry got a lot of help. And then Floyd, rookie. This is the playoff record for rookies scoring touchdowns. His third touchdown on the day. Dave Wannstedt can't be happy with what he's seen, but he's had a wonderful year. Now we got a defensive tackle. What is that? What do you call
Mr.
that?
Jim Flanagan. Yes, indeed. You know he's happy with that.
Couldn't believe what I was reading. Then Gerbach hits Dexter Carter. 43-yard reception. That set up Adam Walker's 1-yard run. As we enjoyed these highlights by the 49ers, I certainly know they're going to enjoy them, JB.
Yes, indeed. And
Barto's thumbs up. Yes.
It was one of those days. And, of course, that sets up next Sunday right here on Fox. The San Francisco 49ers will be meeting either the Dallas Cowboys or the Green Bay Packers. Of course, that game will be played tomorrow here on Fox. And you can see the action next Sunday, NFC Championship time, as San Francisco moves on to its 6th championship appearance. And it all gets started at 3:30, of course, with the pregame show starring the three here indeed. Now, speaking of the game next week, San Francisco absolutely on a roll. Tomorrow, Green Bay and Dallas. Who do you like?
Green Bay, Dallas. Dallas is talking that they're ready to play. They got they're healthy. They're talking a confident football game, but when I was there, the thing I've always gone on as a player, I can feel confident, I can talk confident, I can believe we have all the talent, but that opening drive, and talking to Troy Aikman, the opening drive where you put it all together like the Cowboys had done earlier in the year on all those opening drives and scoring, get that thing and move it down the field and get your confidence. Believe, you know, that you can do it and then go out and execute it and get ready.
You mentioned confidence, and of course, during the pregame show, we talked about the swagger that San Francisco has. They went out and backed it up today.
Yeah, they backed it up, but I'll tell you what, the thing you can't do is you can't count Dallas out, because when they're healthy and they're focused, they are the best team in football. And one thing I'm getting the impression in talking to Dallas players, they've got a chip on their shoulder the size of a lumberyard right now. And that's right where I want the Dallas Cowboys to be if I'm involved with the Cowboys.
Speaking of the Cowboys now, they watched this game today. Jimmy, what do you think about Dallas's attitude as it meets a San Francisco team that absolutely is confident now?
Well, they're looking at a year ago. San Francisco opened up against the New York Giants and had a similar type game, similar type score, scored 44 points against the Giants and just completely crushed them. The difference this year from last year, San Francisco had to go on the road to play at Dallas. This time, San Francisco knows they're playing at home, and so that's going to be big. Of course, we got Green Bay and Green Bay and Dallas. I don't think Green Bay without Sterling Sharp can do it.
Yeah, that's the key here. We're talking Dallas, but really Green Bay and Brett Favre, who is as hot as any quarterback to play in the National Football League in the last 5 or 6 years. I really believe, even with Sharp out of there, I really think their game plan tomorrow is a good game plan. And once again, it really depends on the breaks. And they're traveling, and they're going to need all the breaks they can get in Dallas. It's still the 49ers are the best team right now playing.
You know, you talked about Sterling Sharp being a touchdown maker. Robert Brooks played extremely well last week within the game plan. Do you think he can become that touchdown maker that Green Bay needs?
He can help, but he's not going to be Sterling Sharp. You know, you don't replace a Sterling Sharp, you know, with a backup player.
They lose to Dallas Thanksgiving, 4 touchdowns by Sterling Sharp. Where are they going to get those 4 touchdowns?
Okay, and that will be the question that has to be answered tomorrow when Green Bay takes on Dallas, of course, and that'll be right here on Fox. Okay, we've got more coming your way. Convincing victory today by the 49ers. They will be awaiting the winner of Green Bay and Dallas. When we come back, we'll take you back out to San Francisco for some post-game remarks, and we'll also bring you some highlights of that Cleveland and Pittsburgh contest. All that and more coming your way right here from Hollywood, here on Fox.